Hello. 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 Hello, my name is Matthew West, and I'm the host of this podcast. It's called the Matthew West Podcast. I really hope you like it.
Hello, his name is Matthew West, and he's the host of this podcast. It's called the Matthew West Podcast. He really hopes you like it.
I really hope you like it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Matthew West Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew West, and as always, I really hope you like it. Thank you for listening. If you're on my official YouTube page, thanks for watching. And I might suggest today's an episode that you're going to want to watch and not just listen to, because my guest, she's a beauty. She's my wife. And I'm super excited for today's Valentine's Day themed episode. But more on her in just a second. You know what? No, I'm not even going to delay the introduction of my lovely, talented, beautiful, incredible guest today. Please welcome to the Story House. She's made the long journey from the main house to my studio. She came bringing bundt cake to our team. Lemon, blueberry bundt cake. And she is the apple of my eye, the love of my life. Round of applause for Mrs. Emily West. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back to the Matthew West Podcast. I know you're a longtime listener.
Yes. Happy to be here.
Big fan, right?
Big fan.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
This is your gift.
Thank you.
You
Happy
get to be a
Valentine's
guest
Day.
on the show.
Just what I wanted.
Before we get into today's conversation, I know you and I are both big fans of Simply Earth.
Yes.
Simply Earth is actually the official podcast sponsor this month.
Oh.
And did you know they're doing something really cool?
No.
And we're going to get to take part very shortly, but my friends at Simply Earth have started a company to make it easy to create your own candles. Say, ooh. Your own soaps. Say, ah. And even more. Even for the beginners like me. We love candles.
We do.
We love soaps. So with the Simply Earth recipe box, you can get your own DIY natural products.
Nice.
Natural's important, isn't it?
It is, especially in a candle.
None of this artificial crap.
No.
Right?
No.
That's not in their speech, but it's DIY natural products. You get this recipe box, and hopefully we're going to show some footage of us making these products soon.
Okay.
Now, why should you try it? Each box delivers pure natural ingredients and simple recipe cards to your door, so you can start making natural DIY products while listening to the podcast. That's important.
Nice, that's
So you're
important.
making the candles, you're making the soaps, you're listening to us.
Yep.
Important, right?
Truly.
Now, they tell me this is pretty cool. I don't even think I have this many 5-star reviews to my podcast. They have over 6,000 5-star reviews, and each month they bring in a new theme to explore. Plus, this is really cool. You already knew this, but Simply Earth donates 13% of their profits to help end human trafficking. And you know where they got that number 13 from? My song, Next Thing You Know, where I talk about how everybody's got their own 13. That's how they came up with that
That's
number.
really
Isn't that the
sweet.
coolest thing? So
Really
if you're ready to start, go to simplyearth.com. Simplyearth.com. Use the code WEST, and you're going to get a free car diffuser. Again, healthy, natural, with your subscription. Don't wait. Join the Simply Earth community with the West family today. Simplyearth.com. What was that website, Emily?
Simplyearth.com.
Simplyearth.com. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I've got so many notes.
No, you don't have all those notes.
I have notes for other things, but I have notes for you today, and I'm excited to share our love story with the world. Aren't you?
I'm so excited.
We've been married for 21 years. And in May of 2025, do you know how many years it'll be?
22.
It'll be 22. I was just checking. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's sunny and pretty today, so I'm happy.
I know. It's been... we shouldn't complain because we probably have listeners in Ohio and Michigan.
North Dakota.
Oh, Lord be with North Dakota
Be with
today.
them all, especially in the winter months.
I've told you this before you and I even met when I was touring as an independent artist. I've told you stories of like, I booked a whole tour in North and South Dakota in February. It was the most miserable I've ever been in my life.
How did your Honda Civic make it through the winter
Good memory.
roads?
It was a Honda Civic. Well, this is the crazy thing. You go to Fargo, you go to all these Bismarck, Sioux Falls, outside of the Comfort Inn where I'd be staying in like low
Nice.
budget, right? I wasn't in 5-star. every car was plugged into the wall, and this was before electric vehicles. And I was like, that's weird. Why? But you'd have to plug your engine in to the wall of the hotel to keep your engine from freezing overnight.
Really?
Yes, and
I've
that was
never
the
heard
only
of
way you could get down the road. One time I was in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. That's a place. And no joke, I was driving through a snowstorm in my Honda Civic. Did I ever tell you this?
I don't think so.
And I got lost. And all of a sudden in the middle, there's this massive snowdrift coming. And so I'm having to slow down. And then the snowdrift kind of parts, and there's a giant cow right in the road in front of me.
Aw.
And I had wandered off the path. I was on some dirt road.
You weren't on the road anymore?
Yeah, I was like completely lost,
You're
not
fine.
even near the community college where I was supposed to be performing that night. Those were depressing times.
Yeah.
And then a bright light came into my world, and her name was Emily.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't have to perform at the community college anymore.
No.
Do you have anything to share?
Not sure what I
You
could
seem
share.
quiet today.
I do?
I don't want to scare you, but we've toyed with the idea, and I didn't want to tell you this until we were live and going, that my team has suggested that perhaps you be a monthly guest on the Matthew West podcast. Is that right, team?
Oh, wow.
And today's your audition.
Okay.
People love you.
True. Okay.
People love you. On Instagram, too?
That's
My
so
goodness.
nice.
What's your Instagram account?
Hey, hey, Emily West.
Hey, Emily. Why is that?
Because hey.
Because, hey?
Yeah. Hi. It used to be Mrs. M. West. Is that right? Or M? Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter. It's Hey Emily West. Easy to remember.
Okay, so Hey Emily West, people love it. You're always embarrassing me on there. Is that why people love it? You
I think so. It's one of the highlights of my
I think
Instagram.
it's also because you share your life with people.
Yeah.
You share recipes.
Yes.
I think our daughters think you overshare.
They do. Well, one does and one doesn't. Lulu thinks
She likes
it's great. Yep. And Delaney thinks I share too much. So I try not to talk too much about Delaney.
Ooh, she's a little more private.
She's a little more private.
Good
Yeah.
for her. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't let social media run our lives or our families.
We don't.
But you do a good job, I think.
Thanks.
You're entertaining. Sometimes I will say your stories, there's too many little dashes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to take me 20 minutes.
You don't watch them.
I don't.
Don't pretend. I know.
I will start.
I'll start watching yours too.
With Valentine's right around the corner, I thought it would be fun to have an episode with you talking about our love
Okay.
that continues to grow with each passing day.
It truly does.
Really?
I think so.
Thank you for saying that. I do love you.
I love you.
God blessed me way beyond anything I deserve by putting you in my life, and we've built a life. We've built a family. 2 amazing daughters. You're an incredible mom. You're my best friend, and these are the things I was going to say at the end of the episode, but I'm just saying them now. Just racking up the points, scoring major points, right?
Right.
For Valentine's, let's let people in. Let people know your love language is. Do you like, let's say, flowers or chocolates on Valentine's? Which one?
Flowers.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I already know the answers to these questions, but let people know. What's your ideal Valentine's Day?
Okay. It would be that we would wake up and take a yoga class together.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
you
for
did that
one.
for me on my birthday. Then we would go maybe somewhere and get like a biscuit to eat, like a breakfast.
So yoga and then a biscuit.
It's like, yeah, balance.
So you want to go to yoga? Is yoga demonic?
I don't think so. I go to the YMCA yoga.
Is it Christian yoga? Kroga?
It's just yoga. I don't know. There's nothing that's said about Kroga. What'd you call it?
There's some people that
Holy
say
yoga.
Like, yeah.
I
I have gone to classes with you. The other day, you took me to. It was like a
total strength class, like little.
and I was the only guy in the class.
You were, and they played
very
I'm
uncomfortable.
Every Woman.
And they played I'm every woman, and I'm in there like, oh my gosh. And they're like, come on, girls, let's loosen up. And even like the warm ups are so feminine.
Yeah.
They're like,
Step.
you're like hopping back and forth.
And
I
you
felt
started
like
doing jumping jacks.
I was 2 leg warmers short of a controversy. But I didn't know, like, but it's actually like a good workout.
It
but I felt very uncomfortable.
You did?
Yeah.
You're not going back?
Is it okay if I don't go back?
Yes. I think that I took a body pump class the next day that you'll love. We'll go to that
Did they play
one.
I'm Every Woman?
No.
I mean, literally, the whole playlist was like, I will survive.
Yeah.
It was very...
Like Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, I needed like the Rocky theme song or something to at least go, hey, we recognize you. We see you.
Your masculinity.
Yeah, there was no DEI in that class.
No.
There was no diversity,
No.
inclusion.
No.
To go, hey, we see you, male.
No.
They tried to feminize me. You did. You tried to. So yoga and then a biscuit.
Yeah, maybe then
Clarify
like a
the
biscuit. Or I do love Waffle House. We could go to Waffle House. Something like that.
But it's not breakfast in bed.
No. I'm not, you know me. I don't sleep late. I just get up and get going.
Yeah.
So then.
Much to my chagrin,
maybe-
as doors are slamming and
No,
it's just
they're
awful.
not. Then maybe like going downtown Franklin and walking around, going in a few shops.
Franklin, Tennessee.
Yes, downtown Franklin's
Okay.
super cute. Get maybe some ice cream. You know
Can
what I
you?
mean?
Could you at least turn your phone off for our interview?
It's Lulu.
Our daughter's in Hawaii right now
I just turned it.
at a ministry school. Do you need to take it?
No, it's okay. And
Did
then
you
we
turn
would.
your phone off because it's still buzzing?
Oh, it is.
Oh my goodness, guys!
Sorry. I don't know how to turn it off.
You don't know how to turn your phone off?
Well, I could just do a. It's Lulu. Hold on. I could just do a.
All right, we're going
I'll
to
just-
pause the interview for a second.
we're
to
good.
no, this is good parenting. We're going to take a call from our daughter.
It's okay.
I don't want to. What does she need
She's
us?
asking about what she should do about Fiji.
Just tell her 20 minutes. We'll call her right back.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, she's saying it's okay. She
Phone
her,
off?
It's okay. I just put do not disturb on. Is that all I need to do?
Just go ahead and turn it off.
Okay.
the love.
She's asking for her passport number.
None of my other guests
I'm sorry.
cause this much of a disturbance, do they, team?
The girls are laughing.
Okay, so let's
Okay,
move on.
wait,
This
okay,
day,
so
the
then we're
Valentine's
going
Day
to
is
dinner.
going incredibly
I know,
slowly.
it's-
Yoga,
I'm sorry.
a biscuit.
Or Waffle House, downtown Franklin, maybe some ice cream, and then dinner because you like a nice dinner.
You don't like dinner?
I mean, I like dinner, but I don't. I could just
You want to go out to eat?
yeah. Or you could make a steak.
Oh, we're not even going to be in town this Valentine's Day. So
No.
a totally different plan.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so yoga and biscuits. I think that's called balance.
Yeah. Balance.
Let's talk about how we met.
Do you want me to tell the story, or are you going to tell it?
Well, you can. Let's tell it together. Do you remember? I mean, you were
Yes.
a damsel in distress.
Damsel in distress. I was working at Universal South Records in Nashville, and you came in to sing for the staff because the record label was thinking of signing you to a record deal. And I went down to hear you along with everyone else, and you sang what, 3 songs, 5 songs?
I feel like you were wearing glasses.
I think so. I used to wear I wear glasses now, but I used to wear
But they
just
were
cute fashion
They were
glasses.
cute, yeah. And you looked like this businesswoman. Like you were wearing like a pencil skirt. Like you were kind of like dressed like
Businessy.
yeah, like an attorney. You know, or somebody who was gonna like yell at me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like give me detention. I liked it.
It worked for you. You had on a green shirt with the white in the center and green sleeves. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
those
and
jerseys.
I was sweaty probably.
You're
My
nervous.
hair was awful.
You're nervous.
What did you did you see something in me in that moment? Like did you like me?
I thought you were so cute, and you thought you were funny and talented. But I was
Cute,
more
funny,
attracted.
talented?
Yeah,
I
all the
believe we
things.
called that is that the trifecta?
It's the trifecta. You had it. And so I went over to you after you sang
Yeah.
and introduced myself and just told you what a great job you did, and you blew me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't blow you off because I didn't think you were gorgeous. I blew you off because you were gorgeous. I was intimidated and my hands were, I'll never forget how sweaty my hands were. And so I didn't want to shake people's hands.
Oh.
But that's why.
And then your drummer thought I liked him.
This is true. But you pursued me.
I did.
Yeah.
So then I had to invite you. I worked in publicity and artist development at the label. And it was my job when we had like a company Christmas party, or I guess this wasn't Christmas because this was like June, to invite all of the artists, make sure they knew they were invited to come to our president's house for a party in the summertime after Fanfare, which is now called CMA Fest. So you were downstairs in the building, in the Starstruck building, writing. And I went downstairs to invite you. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that's nice of her. I just thought that was your job.
Yeah, it was my
Remember?
job.
We've told people this story before, but
Yeah.
like, I thought your job was to be nice to the artist, like a recruiter. And so I thought, but then you started inviting me to go to church with you.
Yes.
And I was like, that seems a little odd.
I invited you to come to church with my friend Catherine and I, and then to brunch after. And then I invited you to paint pottery. And then we walked around downtown Franklin. I just kept inviting you places.
Yeah.
I invited you to come to Fanfare.
Fanfare, which is a country music festival that's now called CMA Fest.
Yes.
So sometimes I don't like telling people how long we dated before we got engaged. Mostly the people I don't like telling is our daughters,
Yes.
because I don't want them to follow suit.
Right.
But we only dated for 3 months.
Before you asked me to marry you, yes.
Yes. And the caveat that I offer to people, especially to our daughters, was that we went through a pretty catalytic? I mean, it was a catalyst moment
Yes.
during that time, early in our dating, where I suffered a major injury, was in the hospital, and you were kind of thrust into this support role for me through a very difficult time, which I feel like kind of quickly deepened our connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my caveat that you're like,
Right.
that you were in the hospital with me, and like it just felt like. Would you say that's the same? Like, did you think you'd ever get engaged after only dating for 3 months?
No. For sure I didn't. No. But I knew early that I wanted to marry you.
Really?
Yeah. Even before the accident
When?
and stuff.
What was it about me that you knew you wanted to marry me? Because I was never so sure. I'm just kidding.
They're so funny. I just remember thinking very early on, like on a few of our first dates, like that I felt, very safe with you, very already in love with you very early, and very like comfortable with you in a way that I hadn't felt before. I just was like, this is it for me. This feels like this is it.
Okay.
I mean that in
It
the
sounded-
best way.
yeah.
It doesn't mean like, oh, this is
This is it. This is as good as it's gonna get. That's
I just
literally what
remember-
that sounded
No,
like.
that's not what
But
I
that
meant
just
at all.
goes to show like how little I thought of myself back then. Was like, that's what I would have been thinking. You were thinking like, well, I guess this is it. But you were saying like, this is the
it.
one.
Yeah. And I remember for years people would say, when you know, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then I met you and I was like, oh, I get it. And that's what I tell the girls too. Like, you'll know.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it.
This
So
is
say it, maybe say it again like, this is it.
This is
versus
it.
this is it.
And this is it. This
See
is
how
it.
delivery matters
Yeah, sorry.
there?
Yeah. I meant, this is it.
Favorite memory of our wedding day. Do you have a favorite memory?
Of our wedding day.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Seeing you not get on a horse and ride away like the runaway bride. Like, I think my favorite memory was I like just me just kind of trying to stay composed as you walk down the aisle, and then my dad marrying us.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to think because like that morning I was just with my friends and bridesmaids getting ready and stuff, and like now looking back at the video of all the
Yeah.
groomsmen walking, like those are funny memories. But I think that would be my favorite, was seeing you when the doors open walking toward you, and your eyes, you were like crying and your eyes were all teared up, and then your dad was standing there and your brothers, and that's the best moment.
Do you remember the basket I delivered you?
What did it have in it?
Oh,
You sent me a basket that day?
yeah, that morning
What was it?
with roses, and then the little card with the lyrics to the song that I wrote you that you got to hear,
Oh, yes.
that you were going to hear at our wedding.
I loved that part. I should say that part.
You don't
too.
remember that?
I remember it now. I'd forgotten about that. though.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was sweet.
Good. I'm glad that was I've always joked that like when it comes to love languages, like words of affirmation is not one of yours,
No.
right? But like,
I mean, I love that, but it's
but
not.
songwriting kind of falls into that category a little bit. So like I used to think, oh my gosh, whoever I marry is going to be, I'm just going to write him a song. If I'm ever in the doghouse,
Just write me
here's
song.
a song, baby.
And I'm like,
And
put your
you
guitar
couldn't-
away and
yeah,
take
like
out the
you couldn't-
trash.
I couldn't care less
No,
when I
that's
write
not
you
true.
a song.
I do love it when you write me a song.
Okay, name one song I've written for you.
The Day Before You.
Okay, name another one. There's so many, and you can't.
Jesus in You.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
What's your favorite song that I've written for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, The Day Before
Day
You,
Before
because
You.
it was for I was going to say my favorite one you've written probably like for us as a family is 18 Summers.
18 Summers. Okay. Well, for those who are newer to my music, The Day Before You was actually a song I wrote that was recorded by Rascal Flatts. You can go listen to their version. I think I did my own version on my second album.
But before that, I loved it because that's the song you wrote for me for our wedding. And I didn't get to hear it until this wedding ceremony.
And then 18 Summers is, man, well, how crazy is it that like here we are talking about, I was writing you Day Before You for our wedding day. And now it's like full circle. Like I'm writing songs like 18 Summers because we've raised two incredible daughters, and we're about to have our third daughter. Just kidding.
That's your dream.
I keep trying to convince you it's time for us to have another kid, but you say no.
No.
I want to start over. Let's do it again. No? Okay. So let's see. Do you remember where we went on our honeymoon?
Yes, we went to Mexico.
Yeah. Any memories from that? Favorite memory?
I just remember.
Keep it PG.
Oh, very funny. I just remember us renting like a scooter and driving around.
That might have been one of our first fights.
Yeah, I was really scared. We were in Mexico. We didn't know where we were, and we rented a scooter. And we
Two
didn't.
scooters.
Did we
Or
rent
were you
two?
on my back?
I was on the back. Yeah, I
Oh,
was like,
gosh, I remember
and
that.
we kind of got lost. And then 20 years ago, it's probably a little safer than maybe it might be now. But I just remember thinking, no one knows where we are, and we don't know where we are.
We got lost.
Yeah,
And it was sketchy.
it was very sketchy.
We got wound up. There were like these locals that seemed highly under the influence. That was sketch.
That was sketch.
And then you hear all these stories now. It's like, what were we
Yeah,
thinking?
we could have been.
But we survived it.
We did.
And your man rescued you, even though I was an idiot for taking us out on that moped. So I want to ask you, before we close out today, there's a trend right now that says, do you think I'm a sunrise or a sunset?
What does that mean?
I don't know. My team wrote that down. What does that mean? What's your aesthetic? What do you think my aesthetic is? Sunrise or sunset?
I would think you're sunrise because you're like joyful and funny. And is that, you know what I mean? Like,
Did she do it right?
oh, okay.
So you would be a sunset to me.
How? What does that mean?
Because I think of like a sunset as like coming home. And like you make our house a home.
That's sweet.
Did I do it right? Good. Our team approves. Let's talk about best relationship advice that you think you've ever been given. Or it could be anything. What do you feel like you've learned? What's one thing you could say you've learned that's helped you in our marriage?
I didn't have a lot of marriage advice. Like my parents divorced when I was little, you know what I mean? Like, but I have seen the example of your parents, and I've held on to and watched them for 52 years. And what I notice most is their joy and contentment, and their never wavering, just they will be together forever. There's no, there's no even thought or mention of anything other than the two of them together. And I think
to fail.
Yes, they refuse to fail. And I think we've done that.
Yeah.
Their marriage is first, their family is second. As far as those two, of course, Jesus is first. But you know what I mean? Like the two of them and their well-being come before everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if their foundation is strong, they know that the rest will be strong.
Yeah.
So watching them go through super hard things over the years, I think what a lot of people today forget, and I can say this for my own parents, is they were married for 10 years and they just kind of got tired of it. You know what I mean? No one cheated. There was no abuse. They just got tired of each other. And we've gotten tired of each other before, but we're unwavering. We're unwavering in our commitment to each other and our family. You know what I mean? Like our vows, we vowed to walk this earth together. And so, yes, that unwavering, this isn't
refuse to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think we've definitely made that our rule early on. Not even to like, failure is not an option. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of us for that. You know what I mean? I think for me, like, obviously, I always felt like, everybody is selfish, by nature.
Sure.
And then I think it takes, once I got married, I realized how much I make things about me. And then when I had kids, it was like, oh, it's really not about me. You know what I mean? So like learning to put somebody else's needs before your own is like, you cannot, two people cannot be selfish and have a successful marriage. You know what I mean? So I think I can see how you put my needs before yours, and hopefully you can see how I'll put your needs before mine. And that, I think, equals, it's the laying down of self is a big part of it too. You know what I mean? And plus, just for me, like I think just forgiveness is so important in a marriage too. Just how many times I've had to forgive you just for just things you said. No, I'm just kidding.
It's true. That's true.
No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm just being silly. But okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think it takes? Well, I guess we've kind of already answered that. I was going to say how to have a strong Christian marriage. Like, what advice would you give to somebody listening today who's maybe in their marriage? They're maybe struggling in their marriage, or maybe somebody who's on the front end and hoping to get married and want to make sure they build a godly marriage and family life. What's some advice that you'd leave somebody with today on this special Valentine's Day episode?
I think this is just obvious. I think as a Christian couple is just praying for each other, in the big and the small and the big decisions and family, just all of it, just praying. When you have a meeting, I'm praying for you. When I'm worried about something, you're praying for me and for our kids. And so I think that's the biggest thing, a couple that prays together. We always have, and we've brought that into our family and our home, and making our home a safe haven, because the world is rough. The world will knock you down, our kids and you and me, you know what I mean? But making our home a place you can always come back to and feel safe and loved and nurtured and forgiven and accepted, It's
good. Yeah. And I would say too, like having, just one thing that comes to mind as you're talking is just the importance of knowing that your spouse has your back and it is like wind in your sails. You know what I mean? Knowing that you're on the same team and making sure that your spouse knows that you're in their corner too. You know what I mean? Because it is, I think, and it's like that fortress of home. Like, hey man, the world's coming at me, whatever it might be, troubles at work, troubles, whatever, circumstances going on, obstacles you're fighting. But knowing that you got somebody, gearing up with you, spiritually lifting you up, holding your arms up, praying for you, and then just on the same team. Such a big deal. You know what I mean? So, man, this is so good. Thank you for joining me today. Anything else you'd like to share on this Valentine's Day episode, Mrs. Emily West?
I don't think so.
Would you like to be a recurring guest on the Matthew S. podcast?
Sure, I'd love to.
You would?
Sure.
Okay. They won't all be Valentine's themed, so
okay.
You can bring recipes. You can talk about what's going on in your life lately.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to in 2025?
Well, our daughter is in Hawaii currently, and in 36 days, if I'm counting, we're going to go see her in Hawaii. So I'm really looking forward to that. I miss her.
We miss her.
And Delaney's getting her driver's license.
Big deal.
We're very excited.
Sweet 16.
Yes.
Big deal.
So excited for those.
Lots of good things.
Lots of good things.
I love it. I love you.
Love you.
Mrs. Emily West, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today for this special Valentine's episode. Love each other well. I'm just, as you can see, I am so blessed to have an incredible partner and my best friend of 22 years. So thanks for listening to the podcast, and go make the most of the one life you get. God has you here for a reason. It's your story for His glory. We'll see you next week.